これでちょっと待ってくださいね。
はい。
今開始されてちょっとだけタイムラグがあるんですね。
30秒ぐらいですね。20秒、30秒ぐらい。
だいたいね。
はい。
あ、来ました。
はい。
OK です。
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, hello. Good evening if you are joining us from Asia. Good afternoon if you're joining us from Central Asia, Europe, or Africa. And good morning to you if you're joining us from the Americas. Welcome to Kenji Ojima's YouTube Live International, our 7th show, I believe. Amazing that we've made it so far. It's all because of you, the viewers. Thank you for your support. My name is Robert. I will be your host and MC on this 1 hour long journey of learning. And joining me, as always, is world famous orthodontic legend, Invisalign Black Diamond provider, Kenji Ojima. Kenji, how are you today?
Hello, Robert. So today is very hot today. And today I'm just going to shopping. Yesterday and today, I go to the electronic store. But
Oh, nice.
yes, but just still continue is not full open. So,
Right.
for example, is no music and all staff is using the mask and the face guard.
Right.
Just a little bit for the not for the full open shopping store.
Right.
And I've been to the Shinjuku station because my one of the office that located is Shinjuku. Shinjuku
Right.
is almost the big department store is still closed.
Right. Well, that doesn't surprise me. For those of you who don't know, Shinjuku Station is the busiest station in the world. It has close to 2 million users per day that go in and out of it normally. But right now, because of the government's requests, it is about 70% reduced traffic, which is great to hear. If you're wondering how Kenji is able to go out and about, the situation in Tokyo has improved drastically in the last week. We are very thankful to everyone who is living in Japan and working to make this as good for people everywhere, though. So if you are in a less lucky situation than we are, please take care of yourselves and maybe put aside your stresses for an hour so you can spend some time with us, focus on learning, and try to improve yourself in these hard times. Yes, it was very hot today. It was over 30 degrees here today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very close to the summer. Everybody very tough time to wear the mask. Me too.
Yeah. I saw people jogging with a mask on. I thought that does not
tough. How about in your location? It's very hot.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm in Saitama right now, and it was very hot, very sunny today. Very hot, very sunny. But it was nice. About halfway through the day, we had a sudden squall. We had some good rain, which cooled down the weather. It's very nice.
Yeah, yes. But
did you get rain in Tokyo?
Yeah. So very similar situation. But many of the people is just started for right now is walking around and just take a coffee, but not for the drinking inside. Almost is takeout. Yes, and I watching today the station is a few people is not wear the mask. Few people.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That takes some courage, I think. They are brave to not be wearing a mask right now. I think so. All right. Well, we have a decent audience. So would you like to get started today, Kenji?
Okay, let's go to the start.
Okay. So, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 cases for you today. And our first case is going to be an approach to a missing tooth situation. There are many different approaches to take here. Each of them have their own benefits. And I'm sure that the one that we're going to show you today will be informative. So sit back, grab a drink, relax, and enjoy. Kenji, please take us to our first case.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we begin, if you are new to the channel, please hit subscribe to make sure that you are always updated when Kenji produces new content. If you wouldn't mind, hit like on this live stream Hitting like helps more people who like this kind of content find us. It helps us find a relevant audience. So go ahead and hit subscribe and like. And as always, our show today is an interactive show. At any point, if you have a comment or a question for Kenji, open up the live chat, fire it in there, and we will address it as soon as we get to a good moment. Sorry to slow you down, Kenji. Please take it away.
Thank you, Robert. Please subscribe our
You're welcome.
channel. Okay, let's go to our first case today. This patient is extraction approaching, but this patient problem is this. 90 years old female patient problem is this patient is naturally missing mandibular second premolars. So this teeth is mostly located for the missing, naturally missing. Then how we solution like this situation? How can we do? Please watching this great article. This is published on the progress of orthodontic last year, 2019. Then according to this article, frequency of missing teeth and reduction of mesiodistal tooth with Japanese patient with tooth ages. That is very important thing is which the part of the teeth is mostly missing, the specialty for the Japanese patient for this article. This is a wonderful article, so Progress in Orthodontic, published on 2018, 2 years ago. The result is this. The result is in the hypodentine group, the mandibular second premolar was the mostly frequently missing tooth type, 25.9%. The almost is the very big range. Then,
Interesting.
please have a look. The maxillary and the lower side is both of the time the same. The second premolar is missing. How can we solution like this patient? So in orthodontic treatment. Then another very wonderful article is from AJODO 2006. So Dr. Vincent Kokit's publication. This article, congenitally missing mandibular second premolars, clinical option. So basically, I learned from this wonderful article how can we solution like this situation. Congenitally missing mandibular second premolars, the clinical option is this. The type of the fifth. Okay, I'm going to this. Okay, so the plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a very big the option. Okay, so according to this article, so the talk to us is plan 1 is primary teeth is no extraction. Okay, then we have to need side adjustment, size adjustment, because baby teeth is a very big size than premature teeth. Then after that we can do composite build up. So initially plan 1 is no extraction baby teeth, then side adjustment, then build up of composites. Okay, this is plan 1. This is plan 1. You can see the center of the X-ray. This is baby tooth, very short, rude one. Then this is plan 1 is no extraction. Then we need for the side adjustment like this. Then build up from composite. This is a plan 1. Keep baby teeth. Planning 2 is this. Planning 2 is primary teeth is extraction. Then this patient already no space 45. Okay, because after extraction primary teeth is naturally medialization on first molars, then already space closing. Okay, then orthodontists have to need space create again, then finally place on dental implant. Okay, so create the space from orthodontic approaching, then place on dental implant. This is the plan 2. This is the mostly main approach. Plan 3 is a primary teeth is extraction, then place on implant 45 immediately. Then this doctor using anchorage, this implant, okay, place on extraction primary teeth, insert dental implant using anchorage, then orthodontic treatment, okay, opposite approaching, plan 2, plan 3, okay. Then plan 4, this is the plan 3, you place on the dental implant, then ortho. Nice idea, this is a nice idea, because the dental implant is very strongly anchorage. Planning 4 is primary teeth is extraction, then all space closing, okay, all space closing from orthodontic treatment, okay, extraction, primary teeth, then after that space closing from orthodontic treatment. Planning 5 is very nice option because extraction primary teeth is located is 44, okay, 45, sorry. This is the second premolars. After extraction or some of the time already naturally missing 45, you can see the bone width is very narrow, right? Then so this doctor is thinking about distalize 44. At this time, create a bone width, okay? Create a more wider, okay? After distalization 44, width create a more wide range to the bone. After that, place on 44 place, insert a dental implant, okay? Extraction premolars, then narrow bone width, then 44 is distalized. At this time, create a bone width. After that, 44 place on dental implant, okay? This is a planning 5.
Interesting. So through distalization, you create width. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then so the very nice for the option plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that we have to need thinking about how can we solution like this naturally missing second premolars. At this time, so we choose which one is better to my patient. Okay. Then so that my patient and my team approach is this. Today I will show you the planning for the space closing from orthodontic treatment using for clear aligner. Okay, but we have to know which option is better planning. That is very important thing. Read great article, right? That is very important thing. Initially come to my office this patient. So the 19 years old female patient, and you can see so these photos, lower second premolars, both of side. This is a primary teeth. This is a not adult teeth, right? Then already naturally missing for this patient. So my approach is how can we solution? This is the baby tooth, milk teeth. Then okay, just going to this one. Okay. Then my approach is this. So the extraction, and this patient is missing tooth is not chip complaint. This patient chip complaint is a severe overjet and not good anterior alignment. Want to be better smiling and brilliant smile after orthodontic treatment. This is OPG and X-ray. You can see this patient is a bimaxillary protrusion. Okay, so this patient want to change for the profile. Yes, exactly. Then so my planning is for premolar extraction is very simple. This is my planning for this patient. Then how can we solution bimaxillary protrusion for this patient? This is already missing lower second premolars. Then we can choose extraction lower second tooth, and we select upper second premolar extraction. So that means is a 4 premolar extraction, then retraction, first premolar, then canine retraction, after that anterior retraction. Okay, this is my planning, but very difficult because only using first molar, second molar anchorage, only 2 molars. This is the only anchorage. Okay. Some of the time very difficult, but this is my clean check. This is my clean check. Initially, distalize fast premolars, then canine retraction is we can use the same time. Canine retraction, fast premolar distalization is the same time. Then after that, for the lower molar medialization sequentially, and the lower premolar, lower canine is the same time retraction distalization. Then after that, anterior retraction. Okay. This is my planning for this patient. Then go to the clinical photos. This is post-extraction. You can see post-extraction. Then place on the attachment for this patient. Our team select 1525 lower second premolars, both of sides. Okay. This is what is weak point is very low anchorage. So every component, upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left, everything is anchorage very weak. So we have to think about how can we management for the anchorage, how can we choose movement for the premolars, and still bodily movement. That is very important thing. Okay. Then started to aligner orthodontic treatment. This is a first aligner set. Then started to choose movement. Then so the place on the attachment. This is occlusal view. Initially post extraction, place on the attachment, and you can see first molar between first molar, second molar, just a little bit started to create a space. Then okay, just move. This is canine, and the first premolar is segmentary distalization, and you can see is a space just a little bit closer. Then number 6 photo is a space closing completely. Then this is the final situation for this patient. Okay, this is the upper side, and both of sides is a space closing. Okay, and the space, not only space closing, this patient is a chief complaint is a profile that we have to solution bimaxillary protrusion. Then this patient is a space closing, alignment, and canine anterior retraction, and a good for the overbite overjet, and the good smiling arch. Finally, the match of the facial midline and the dental midline. Okay, this is the approach is plan 4. This is the OPG and the SAFE. This is a comparison initial and the final. You can see understood is a bimaxillary protrusion is a solution anterior axis inside the axis is a finally is smiling is very good. This is comparison initial and the final. Totally different, and easy to smiling, easy to close the lip. This is a comparison initial and the final. That is totally different. This is the case 1. Okay, this is case 1.
Another amazing case. I'm sure this was a life changer. From a non-professional perspective, cases with bimaxillary protrusion don't seem like they are too aesthetically bad because the smile still looks okay. But looking at the before and after picture, it really makes a world of difference having those teeth in the right position, standing upright and with full occlusion. Another amazing case, Kenji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, watching for Robert and a friend.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any comments or questions, now is the absolute best time to ask them. So if you are just joining us, we just finished talking about our first case. Our first case was a case of missing tooth, where Kenji's approach was an extraction and then full tooth movement for full space closure. If you have any questions or comments about this case or about any similar cases or approaches, give them to us.
Yeah, so this is a normally approach is plan 2. Plan 2 is normally because alignment for the also then keep the space, then the place on the implant, dental implant. This is normally approaching and a very simple one and more safety because tooth movement is very short. But if this patient is about around 40, over 50, it's good because this patient is already adult. But this patient is just very young generation, 19 years old. Very important thing is long-term stability. If placed on the dental implant, both of sides, if around 30 continuous maintain place on this implant, but 30 years still maintain the dental implant, but this patient just 50. The 50 is still young, still young. But if for the space closing for orthodontic treatment completely, the life change and no need maintenance for the implant and solution to the anterior bimaxillary protrusion at this time is not only cheap complaint solution, and the other hand is create the weak point is disappear. That is very benefit for the life for this patient.
Oh, for sure. Well, maintaining bodily movement without tipping with that much tooth movement is a real. Any orthodontist that is not confident or has low confidence might opt for an approach that has less tooth movement, like number 2. Okay, we have we're starting to get some comments and questions, so let's go ahead and look at our chat. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions and comments, direct them to the chat, and we are happy to get to them. Our first comment is from Dr. Firas. Hello, Dr. Firas.
Firas, thank you.
He says, nice cases. Thank you, Kenji. As always.
He does. Thank you.
All of the cases that we cover in our discussions are available as short in Kenji Ojima's YouTube feed. So if you want to watch this video without us speaking over it, narrated version available in Kenji's case gallery on YouTube. Thank you very much, Firas. Next, let's move on to a question from Dr. David Tan. Hello, David.
David, hello.
Says, hi, Dr. Kenji and Robert. I realized that tooth 36 and 40 mesially tilted during treatment as they are closing the large extraction space. Did you order additional aligners? (36 and 46).
Well, can I say again, please?
Yeah, no problem. Not at all. So Dr. David Tan says that the 36 and the 46 were slightly mesially tilted during treatment as they were closing the large extraction space. Did you order additional aligners for this?
Yes, for this patient is I ordered to another one refinement. So that this refinement is ordered to finishing and the detailing situation. So normally, so that as you can see, so the last my YouTube channel, so that I measurization the model, so the lower side, measuring and the distal movement, we can do everything. So nowadays, this patient is immediately after primary teeth, then started to the measure movement. This patient is 19 years old, very young bone, easy to control, as you can see these photos. And just a little bit for the additional aligner, around 50 to under to 70. Go to the finishing stage.
Nice.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you very much, David, and thank you very much, Kenji. Okay, Dr. Liu is back. Hello, Dr. Liu.
Dr. Liu, Shay.
Dr. Liu says, Kenji, do you prefer the frog pattern in extraction cases?
No, I never use frog pattern because frog name is, I don't like it. Not cool. So we...
That's a good reason.
Yes, I never use for the frog pattern. I never calling frog pattern. So in my seminar, I use segmental approaching because a frog is very, how I say, like a kid, because canine, anterior teeth, canine. No, this is a segmentary approaching. So some of the time, premolar control this position, just 2 millimeters. At this time, keep the canine, and some of the time, 1 millimeter this side, premolar distalization. This side is a 1 millimeter canine distalization. This is a 2 millimeter. I have to check how millimeter is better, how tooth is controlled or not. I never order to frog pattern. I use all the time segmental tooth movement. We call segment molars, premolars, canine, anterior side. We separate, divide all segmental teeth. This segment is anchorage some of the time. This segment is anchorage, control this tooth. Like a chess, like a segment, okay? Not frog pattern. Okay.
Exactly. Move one piece at a time as opposed to moving one section of the mouth at a time. Gives you more precision, better anchorage control, for sure. Okay. Well, thank you, as always, Dr. Liu.
Dr. Liu, thank you. 谢谢.
Okay, and now we have a returning visitor, Dr. Ozan Sezen. Hello, Dr. Ozan.
Ozan, hello.
Dr. Ozan says, thank you so much. How do you create anchorage for lower arch to retract anterior?
So very important thing, you have to need your experience and your strategies. If you can do more measurization, some of the time very, very difficult, okay? So my advice one point is if the wisdom tooth still there, don't extraction early staging, because the wisdom tooth is some of the time pushing second molar roots. That is very good force and support to the orthodontic approaching, or only control. This is a second molar. This is the first molar. This is the medial sides. You can control only first molars. This teeth is don't move anymore using anchorage only. Then this is medial movement, then distal movement, premolar, first premolar. That is more and more safety. Okay. After space closing completely, then you can start it to measure movement, second molars. Second molar is if end of the staging, end of the orthodontic phase. So the cut to the aligner, naturally medialization, okay? But first molars is you have to need control, orthodontic control. That is very keep right position, keep right contact. That is very important thing, okay? So that you have to arrange your idea. If still there is wisdom tooth like this, the don't extraction early staging using the naturally medialization push force, or some of the time second molar is keep this position, only medial movement is the first molars, and some of the time place on the mini screw tab, then control more strongly anchorage, then retraction canine first premolar same time. So you can choose your formula, which is better formula for you, then so that you can select which is more safety, which is more predictable tooth movement for your orthodontic treatment.
Excellent. As usual, case by case.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a couple more questions before we move on. Next question is from Dr. Vishal Vij. Hello.
Vishal.
Vishal. Hello, hello. Dr. Vishal says, I noticed you choose to level SPI by lowering the intrusion. Can you discuss, as with a straight wire, we would probably end up extruding the lower molar?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
And I think that in general, as Dr. Ojima has said in many of our previous videos as well, The advantage with complex movement of aligner orthodontics versus straight wire is you have a lot more control of individual tooth movement. So you can perform two complex movements at the same time as opposed to, which is, there's only one when using a straight wire, many more when using aligner. Thank you very much, Dr. Vishal.
Thank you.
Next, we have another question from Dr. David. Another question from Dr. David Tan. Hello again, David.
David, hello again.
David says, may I also know what type and where would you place attachment or button on the 36 and the 46 in your additional aligner plan?
If the additional aligner plan, you want to more uprighting, some of the time more tightly, or some of the time more bite closing, any situation, it's a place different. Place on the attachment is different.
Right.
If more uprighting, at this time you have to need select rectangular attachment vertically. And if you more bite contactly place on the horizontal attachment is better. It depends on the situation. It depends on your purpose. But a very nice question.
Right.
Thank you.
Excellent. We get a lot of questions about button attachments because it's a science. It requires a very three-dimensional view of the mouth, and you have a very good control of that. Thank you very much, Dr. David.
Thank you, David.
Okay. And our last question before we move on to our next case is from Dr. Gustavo. Hello, Dr. Gustavo.
Hello, Gustavo. Hello. Thank you.
He says, congratulations on a wonderful treatment, Dr. Kenji. Excellent
you.
webinars. Do you like segmental movements because it is more predictable?
Yes.
It doesn't increase a lot does it increase the number of aligners by a lot?
Yes, exactly. But if you increase of the aligner number, you're better to you choose, right? Because only 10 aligner very short, okay? Increase aligner, we can control more precisely. That is better. Better situation.
In this case, did you use an acceleration device in this case?
Yes.
So by using an
also
3 days aligner change, that's amazing. So 3 days. So when you think about that, you have four aligners in the same space as you would have one approach.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your. We have a comment. Dr. Leila. Hello, Dr. Leila.
Hello, Leila.
So Leila says, is it possible to see it again? Leila, if you'd like to watch this video again, subscribe button. And after we finish recording each live show, this recording will show up in Kenji's YouTube feed, and you can watch it from the beginning, pause, fast forward, do whatever you'd like.
Thank you. Leila, thank you.
Okay. All right, Kenji. So our next
Okay, go to the next one.
Central. That's right. Central relation does not equal centric. Very often, doctors mistake in planning. It requires a different kind of treatment. Your treatment philosophy for this type of case.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Let's go to this case. This patient is a teenager, but the teenager is not CO equals CR. CO means, as you know, centric occlusion. CR means, as you know, centric relation. Okay, so some of the time is a different CO not equal CR position. But a 12 years old female patient, this patient joint is stable, not broken. But maybe after 10 years later, 20 years later, started to broken the joint. Okay, joint problem. We have to very important the check bite position, and the bite registration is which position is better or not, and we have to check premature contact or not, which teeth is premature contact, and shift to the undesired habitual occlusion position. Okay, so we have to check precisely for this, like this situation. Okay. This is CO not equal CR patient for the laterally. Initially, for this patient is this 12 years old female patient, initially like this situation. As you can see, the facial midline is not much lower arch midline. As you can see, the facial midline almost match to upper midline, but the lower mandible midline is shift deviation to the left. Okay, but this patient no problem, no pain because this patient is still young. 12 years old female patient, not broken the disc, not problem to the joint, no problem to the muscle, everything is fine. No understood. Okay? And come to my office. Now, this patient chief complaint is a midline deviation. Midline deviation, okay? So we have to check CO, CR position. Then we have check to find which position is premature contact or not. So I find is upper right canine and the lower right first premolar is premature contact, hit premature contact, then shift to the left. This is an undesirable deviation to the mandibular position. Okay, this is a check plaster model. This is a initial bite position, then shift to the left. Okay, we have to check precisely which position is a deviation point or not. This is a face and this is a teeth position. The deviation to the left is very big, okay, over 3 millimeters. Then so that I find for the premature contact is here, upper right canine and the lower right first premolars. Then we have to check the centric position. Centric CR position is here because this is before undesired shift to the mandibular position. Okay, then we take using the silicone bite here, then take a scanning upper teeth, lower teeth, and take a scanning bite registration is this point. Okay, not habitual bite registration. Habitual bite registration is not good for the condyle position, the mandibular position. Okay, you can see this is an initial scanning position. Only strongly contact is upper right canine and the lower right first premolar only. This is our team is fine to premature contact is only these teeth. Then started to the planning. Okay, so we have to planning on the digital planning. Initially, one is expansion upper canine, upper right canine. Then we have to guide it lower mandible, naturally shift to the right. Okay, this is an initial situation. Initial planning, we check which tooth is contact. Then we have to need solution. Initial one is upper right canine, upper right first premolar, expansion. Then alignment, go to alignment, naturally lower mandible shift to the right. Okay, this is the initial situation for my team. Then this is initially centric position, left photos. Then go to the scanning data, the same position, keep same position. Then go to the clean check data. Okay, that is very important thing. We have to all the time which bite registration is very important thing. Scanning upper teeth, scanning lower teeth is very simple. Everybody can do. Okay, but a very important thing is which position is good for the joint, good for the initial starting point. That is very important thing. And you can see initially centric occlusion position is shift to the midline. This is the habitually occlusion place. And we find CR position using for the silicone bite registration. Then take a scanning, then go to the clean check. Then initially my planning is like this. expansion, both of arch, then going to naturally lower mandibular shift to the right. Okay, you can see we have to move first position is the upper first premolar, lower upper first canine, lower first premolars. This is my clean check. This is my place on the attachment. Then started to tooth movement. Okay, not for the distal movement. So the lower, if don't think about condyle position, if don't think about CO not equal to CR, maybe your clean check is a lower molar distalization and midline is correct to the tooth movement. But please watching carefully. This clean check is no molar distalization. Okay, no molar distalization, no teeth shift to the right. Only create a space, only expansion. Then so that our planning is mandible naturally shift to the guide. Naturally. No molar distalization, no midline is deviation. You can see my clean check only control which arch have to need to create expansion, and we have to guide it to the mandibular right position. Only this. No medialization, no distalization lower molars, no distalization canine, no lower midline is shift to the right. Only checking which position is good, which arch more expansion or not. Okay, that is very, very important thing for me. Okay, this my clean check is very, very simple. Okay, so the expansion, both of arch, then finally guided. Okay, let's go to the clinical photos. This is initially I take a bite CR position for this patient. Then place on the attachment. Place on the attachment. And this patient is just 12 years old, very young, cute girl. No need any acceleration device, okay? Then, so the start it 2 years, two weeks aligner change, okay? 1 month step up, just 2 aligner, okay? 1 month, just 2 aligner step up. After 2 months, just 4 aligner, because we have to observe the naturally eruption, second molars, we have to observe the bone growth, everything, okay? This patient is, after 2 months later, this is 4 aligners. Then so the next, this is 5th month later, just 10 aligners, okay? And we can use class 3 elastic, only right side. After 8 months later, 16 aligner, midline is slightly shift to the right. This is 1 year later, using 24 aligners, midline is correct. So we achieved both of sides, canine and the molar, first molar is class 1 relationship. Okay? Never distalize distal movement lower molar, never distalize any teeth. Okay, but we can solution, expansion, and alignment, naturally mandibular shift to the right, then finally good coupling up on the lower arch. This is 1 year later. So we achieve midline is correct. We achieve the canine, both of sides, canine guidance is class 1, and both of sides, the molar, first molar is class 1 relationship achieved. The facial midline and the lower midline is matched after 1 year later, 12 months later. But not using acceleration device, 2 weeks aligner change. This is initially the shift to the mandibular. This is 1 year later, the facially, midline, everything is good. This is the end of the time we take a scanning before eruption up right second molars, but already the good position, the mandible. This is a fine retention after 3 years later. 3 years later, retention, but still good. Position is good, guidance is good. And this is finally our team photos. Then so that this patient is keep the good position. Then so this is finally retention 3 years. The midline is correct and the class 1 relationship achieved and all the teeth is eruption and we waiting for the maybe 1 year or 2 years later extraction wisdom tooth. This is the end of the today's case 2. Thank you, you are watching. Okay.
Fabulous, fabulous case, Kenji.
Thank you.
You have said many times in our webinars together that the clean check alone is not enough to make a decision about orthodontic treatment, and this case was. Clean check doesn't give you any data on the CRCO, and without that, maybe you would distalize. Maybe you would move teeth when you didn't need to, when all you needed to do was expand. As usual, your message of understand the full situation before you start treatment is the right answer. It's the right answer, as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kenji. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have doubled our guests during the course of this case. If you are just joining us, please make sure you hit subscribe. You hit that like button. By hitting subscribe, you help us grow our channel. By hitting like, you help more people who like this kind of video find us. So please help us reach more people. This is a live interactive chat, so if you have any questions or comments about Kenji's cases, go ahead and drop them into the live chat and we will address them. We have a question from Dr. Tamara. Hello, Tamara. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Hello.
She says,
Tamara.
Konbanwa. Says, great cases. So how do you determine when to check the COCR bite?
Very nice question all the time, Tamara. So that we have to check for the COCR position is to take a cone beam CT initially, and we have to check for the joint mobility and positioning. Then so that we combine to the check for the joint adaptation or not, and take a cone beam CT. Then we have to find for the more light position. That is very important thing before tooth movement. Specialty digital orthodontic treatment.
So when do you take a combined CT of every patient who's into the office?
If needed, yes.
Okay, so basically you determine whether or not to check the COCR by looking during the initial interview and then doing your scans. I see. Thank you very much. And thank you, as always, for your wonderful participation, Tamara. Arigatou gozaimashita. From Dr. Liu. Hello again, Dr. Liu.
Hello, Liu.
Says, very nice case. Why did you not use oblique traction in the anterior teeth aid the adjustment of the jaw position?
So very important thing, we have to take a PA photo X-ray, then so that we understood for the mandibular shift to the left. Then we have to not only this patient problem is teeth, the problem is joint deviation. That is the key of the point. So that we take not only watching clean check, so that already Robert told to us, so that many of the Invisalign doctor only watching clean check. But the very important thing is that we check everything, the balance, the face of the patient, the function, and the pain area, everything, and the guidance. Then so the take X-ray, so we understood what this patient is. Lower mandible is shift to the right. Then we have to find which is the better position. Then planning. But thanks a lot. Wonderful question.
Yes, thanks as always, Dr. Liu. Okay, this is from Dr. Jingying. Welcome back, Dr. Jingying.
Jingying, hello, ni hao.
Dr. Jingying says, amazing case. Thank you so much, Kenji and Robert, and thank you, Dr. Jingying. And just wondering, for the CR and CO case like this, is it more possible for young teenager cases, or is it possible in adult cases too?
Yes, thanks a lot for the Shay wonderful question, Jinjin. So in my office, I learned from my mentor, Dr. Professor Barner Shoup. from Germany. He is a specialty for the like this situation. We call CMD patient. CMD means is a craniomandibular disorder, not only TMD. TMD is a temporomandibular disorder. Only this area. CMD is more expand. Headache, back pain, neck pain, is a muscle pain, everything. So the specialty adult patient with CMD is we use sprint therapy first. But this patient is a young generation that's not still broken the joint, the disc. Okay, more few years later, still this occlusion will be broken the disc. After that, we have to need a sprint therapy first. Okay, few months using the sprint. Then after pain-free position, we started aligner orthodontic treatment. Yes, so your question is yes. So that mainly, many of the patient is come to my office is a problem to the joint, is a very creaking. Some of the time is a painful, cannot open the mouth. At this time using like this. Some of the time before I started for the invisalign treatment, I use a sprint. And the more young generation, some of the time more easy approaching, how I say, the bite positioner and approaching to the tooth movement and easy to solution like this patient, because this patient just 1 year tooth movement, then finish. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your wonderful question, Dr. Jin Ying. We have a very similar question from Dr.
Maple Low.
Maple. Yes. Maple maybe, or Maple Lao.
Maple, thank you.
So Maple is Kaide, right? So maybe.
Wonderful name.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name.
Maple Lao.
So Maple had the same question as Jin Ying. Hopefully, Kenji's answer was enough for you.
Okay.
Let's move on to our next.
I promise for our session, the Robert and I is want to show the adult patient like this situation.
Okay, you heard. Our next session, which will be on this coming Wednesday, we will cover a CO patient, an adult CO patient. So please come back and join us for that. Okay, next question, another question from Dr. David Tan. Hello again, Dr. David.
David.
Your active participation is highly appreciated. Thank you. It says, thank you, Dr. Kenji and Robert. Upper posteriors may tend to have buccally crown technique during arch expansion. So how do you manage to achieve buccal bodily movement without attachments on the molars?
Okay, so David, it's a wonderful question, very nice. Second one. So that we call, okay, I just now write down. So can you see that? Is pushing like this is easy to tipping like this. At this time, place on the attachment here. Place on the attachment is pushing the keep bodily expansion, bodily movement like this. If without attachment, maybe easy to tipping. So some of the time is we have to check is initial situation for the bone, initial situation for the axis of the root. Then if needed, place on the some attachment is more safety, and some of the time no needed. I lie down like this. This initially this position, expansion like this. This is we call safety zone. Here to here. Safety zone. we call safety zone. Here to here. At this time, we don't need any place on the attachment. But more expand. Place on the attachment is more safety. Avoid like this. Okay?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. David, for your great question, and Kenji for your answer. Thank you, Dr. David. Our next question is from Dr. Daval. Hello, Dr. Daval.
Daval, hello.
Welcome back. Excellent case. Kenji and Robert, one question. Along with class 3 elastics, was IPR considered in the lower arch as no distalization was planned?
No, this is no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Dr. Leila says, thanks. Nice presentation. I'm glad you could enjoy the whole presentation, Dr. Leila.
Thank you, Leila.
Dr. Shami Garg. Hello, Dr. Shami.
Hello, Shami.
Very nice case, as usual. The question is, how do you guess the anterior vertical position? So how much extrusion is needed? How do you know this?
Extrusion is a very effective specialty using aligners. At this time, I definitely recommendation is a horizontally rectangular attachment or a bevel attachment is more safety. I recommendation.
Okay, and so how do you know, how can you guess that vertical position? How do you know that vertical position?
Position for because very important thing, the face integration teeth position. So the very important thing, using the digital smile design, more easy to find right position. For the smiling curve, on the facial midline, everything.
Exactly. So as we said at the beginning, we will say at the end, with just the ClinCheck, you don't have enough information to understand the final situation. To get a full understanding, you need lots of scans, you need a facial-driven treatment plan, and of course you need your experience and your know-how. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out and spending time with us. It is wonderful, as always, to hear your insights and to enjoy an evening hour time with all of you. Our next episode will be this coming Wednesday. This coming Saturday, apologies, this coming Saturday, the 16th, May 16th. On May 16th, one of our two cases is going to be an adult CO case. So you can come, Dr. Jingying, Dr. Maple, you can come and see that case on Saturday, along with all of the other wonderful doctors. Ladies and gentlemen, things are improving, the weather is improving, the coronavirus situation is improving, but this is not time to let down our guard. Please take care of yourself, be responsible, stay safe. Kenji, do you have any words for our guests?
Thanks a lot, Robert. Thanks a lot, all our friends and all colleagues. So please watching for the next for our session, and I promise for I using CO, not equal CR patient, specialty adult patient. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye bye. The face integration ClinCheck. Bye bye.
Like and subscribe.